What's cooking, folks? Vermillion Phoenix here, and today we're jumping into some more Orcs Must Die Unchained. This time, we are running through the Highlands with our new girl, good old Deadeye. So far, even with all of the crazy mistakes I've been making, Deadeye has actually proved pretty useful on most of the maps. We got the viscous tar there. Let's go ahead and make sure that we're double ballisted up here. Nope, we don't need that. We're going to take some arrow walls too. And for the most part, I think that should take care of everything that we want to do on this particular map. We're not using anything lightning. Let's go ahead and grab smashing deals. And we're going to take some coin perks. Or a coin perk, making it rain, so combos count for more. Then we have feeling fierce. Alright, so for the most part, these should work pretty well. Floor spikes should be placed after the viscous tar for best effect. Floor scorcher has such a huge range that it doesn't really matter. And I think that's pretty much good. I'm going to drop the jailer for the dragon for this particular map, just because all of them are default, and stable hand is just useful just about everywhere. Alright, but here we go. Let's see how we deal with this today.
Traps, screaming and hollering. Ah, feels like I'm finally home.
That's what I'm talking about.
Tactical retreat.
Alright, so everything starts out in the center of this map. And though I'm not going to trap up this area, I'm going to drop the stable hand there. For the most part, I think the rear area should actually be pretty much safe on its own.
Yeah, right there. Mighty fine day for a massacre.
I could.
Wait till they see this.
Just put this over here.
This'll stop them.
For the most part, that'll accomplish what I need. Although enemies are going to move somewhat unpredictably.
That's pretty dastardly, if I do say so myself. Killbox is shaping up real nice. Uh-huh. Good. This'll keep them guessing.
Rather than place that, I think I'll just go ahead and start dropping these arrow walls.
Killbox is shaping up real nice.
I think that's good to start. Go ahead and open this up. I used to place my guardian down here on the earlier levels because there weren't too many enemies, but the waves actually get somewhat heavy here, so try not to place anything that's going to get killed, at least until towards the end of the waves. And this is a pretty long map at 14 waves. They give you 19 minutes and 45 seconds to get through it, so you guys will be with me for a while if you watch the entire vid. Alright, so you can do some fighting out here if you absolutely need to. Get yourself some good damage off. And you could probably even murder these guys before they even manage to get to the traps. It's not in the best interest for combos or anything like that, but it will get you a faster clear.
Mighty fine day for a massacre. Don't mind if I do.
So arrow walls are interesting in that the arrows don't penetrate enemies, and that means that if you have a lot of enemies piled up, arrow walls will actually not do as much damage as something like the Spitfire, which does penetrate. What that's going to mean is that high concentrations, or actually no, just specifically high concentrations of enemies, you should always use a Spitfire. So basically, if you're doing endless, go for the Spitfire instead of the regular arrow walls. Although that is kind of the strength of the big game hunting arrow wall, that for larger enemies, most of the arrows will just like peg them a ton of times. You'll just get crazy high damage off of it. So, I guess we can put... Oh, no, we should save the coin. We have our next gate opening up. I'm going to kind of be ready for it. Oh, geez, that is really far away. You guys can have that firewall. I'll see you in a little bit. So, that is like all the way out there. Good thing I dropped the stable hand there. It'll give me a little bit of time to sort of come around here.
And our heroes destroyed the unstable rift, and there was much rejoicing.
Blast that and go ahead and return. And we should still be able to get through here with my hip shot buff going. Alright, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to get a go break, which will reset my skill cooldowns. I didn't move. I should have moved right before that last enemy died, so I'd have the cooldown refreshed. But I didn't. That's entirely my fault.
They will not. Watch out! Our enemies have broken through again.
Probably should have tapped the Guardian there too.
This'll stop him.
Even if I touched him for just a brief moment, I would have gotten a speed boost. I'd have been over here sooner.
That's pretty dastardly, if I do say so myself.
Okay.
They've broken through a gate.
Alright, as soon as we get the explosives, these guys are pretty much toast. They have no HP. Actually, could have just done that. Probably would have been a lot easier and quicker.
Good.
Alright, we're going to go with the Razor Reed Rend. As pretty much always. And then we have to hop back over here and clean this up. Now you see how many enemies got through right there. While they don't all have a ton of HP, they would all be basically murdering your Guardian if you had set them closer. At least with the way that I have that set up. So you don't want that to happen. It's not a good idea.
They will not pass.
Wait till they see this. This'll keep them guessing.
Alright, no one cares. Alright, so I'm going to put a couple of big game hunting ballista over here. That'll help with anything that is hero seeking or bosses. Yeah, you're going to blow up. I don't really care. Oh, there's a potion for me. Lovely. Alright, and then we set the regular ballista up here, and we're good to go.
Need a clearer shot.
Alright, now we get our chance to go ahead and murder the lot of these guys. Alright, so now we get a boss wave, I believe.
Our boss is on his way.
Mighty fine day for
Alright,
a
and that's
massacre.
all I'm leaving here. Everything else will pretty much be for the next gate that's opening up. Shouldn't be a particularly heavy gate.
An
Oh,
unstable
jeez.
rift is opening. It
Okay.
must be destroyed.
So the way that I have the ballista set up, they should basically KO the boss for me.
Never.
Alright.
Well done. The unstable rift has been destroyed.
And it looks like that was incorrect. Either that or there's a couple more shots that they have to take. Nope, they didn't finish the boss. Alright. Let's go ahead and ice them
Is down.
before everyone else shows up. Alright, and we're going to grab a fistful of brambles here, and that is because
Through elsewhere.
this wave right here, or this lane, is essentially just a ton of fire monsters.
Yeah, right there.
We're going to set up our other guardian here.
No trespassing.
Killbox is shaping up real nice.
Our barricades are under attack.
And of course we got fire ogres in the center too. Now the tricky thing is going to be dealing with the elementals that are coming from the center.
have broken through a gate. Our barricades are under attack.
Alright, good. They're all taken care of. I'm gonna have to try to replace the barricade that they blew up. And hopefully I can, there we go. We can use the barricades to actually protect ourselves and or we can use the brambles to protect ourselves and the barricades from the firelings. Whoops. Set one of those up a little bit closer. That's it. Yep, too close. I can't even defend myself from the firelings. I gotta be careful with that. Alright.
That's pretty dastardly if I do say so myself. Wait till they see this.
Alright, that's good enough for now. I didn't save anything to rebuild this over here. I will need to if I expect this.
Our barricades are under attack.
Yep, nope, nope, nope. You are extra dead. Thank you.
They've destroyed our barricades.
The very last one got it. Okay. There's your bramble wall. And there's the rolling brambles. Let's go ahead and keep walking into them, please. Thank you.
Our barricades are under attack.
Of course they are.
They've destroyed our barricades.
We can just put that right there. That's fine. Alright, and they're about to destroy my other barricades too. So what we're going to do is just going to place that there. Alright, we're going to roll for that one. Set up another one a little bit further back. I probably should have shot this guy. But what's going to happen is he's going to explode. They're going to be firelings. And then we're good. As long as the firelings themselves are what goes into the rift, you're okay. If they are in their elemental form, you will have a problem.
Wait a I need healing. Killbox is shaping up real nice.
Okay, so those guys are really weak. They're just a wave of kobolds that are meant to scare you. If you have a lot of barricades put through here, they will blow them up though. So you gotta be careful about that. We can just toss a nade in there, see what that's able to do. That's what it feels like. It feels more like a grenade toss than a bouncing bomb. Probably Deadeye's most important ability though. Alright, now we have all of these guys bunched up here. That is going to be a boss or a... Great. It's a mercenary and it's the one that I don't particularly like. Okay, let's go ahead and burn everybody too. And then gun them down. The damage reduction is extremely ridiculous, especially when it can be cast while the guy is dead. One of the hardest things to deal with the Dwarven Priest. That guy is useful, dead or alive. Alright, set it and forget it. Thank you, Ron Popeil. I will say that as long as the enemy isn't at the point where they have like super buffed HP, her brambles are extremely useful against runners. Which is nice since she's not particularly mobile. Whereas with most characters, you know, they kind of have to set themselves up to be proficient against runners. She just starts out with pretty much a full kit ready to blow them up. Alright, so we can finally go ahead and fortify this area a bit. I think for the most part, anything coming out of the right side should be toast. What I like to do here is
Fine day for a massacre. Yeah, right there. This'll
put a
stop
whole
'em.
bunch of these up front.
That's pretty dastardly if I do say so myself.
You can drop some of these too.
Good.
And then we can head down here and set up a few more arrow walls and ballista so that we really don't have to worry about much of anything.
That's pretty dastardly if I do say so myself. Killbox is shaping up real nice.
And because those are super cheap, I really don't have to worry about what I do with them.
Mind if I do.
Nope, he got me. Oh well. Now you can see that the things that I've set up over there took care of the right side pretty easy. There's some earth elementals mixed in with the fire ones here, so be careful. That's the thing about fire elementals, they're not particularly problematic. Mainly because firelings don't really damage your rift, but since they have their updated, or I should say properly working blow up your barricades mechanics now, they can be a little dangerous in the right situations. Really, they only mess up the trap setup that I have back here a bit if they hit the barricades, but most of the work is going to be done by great.
Quick, destroy it.
Most of the work will be done by the ballista anyway, so it's not that big of a deal. I could actually forego the barricades, but they're actually more there to keep my guardian alive than anything else.
Better get your
Boom.
Destroyed the unstable rift.
I felt like they could use a speed pad somewhere around there. Maybe in place of that grate. It would serve the same function as far as not allowing you to put a trap there, but no, still be useful. Because in most of the places where they have like large maps, they generally give you speed pads. Granted, like there's a lot of interesting like sort of spaces that allow you to move between the lanes here. There's that one up top there, but in the rear there, since they can spawn unstable rifts, I guess they don't really want you to be able to get back into the action that well. That's part of the reason why it's there. But if they gave you speed pads, then they could do more interesting things like putting the rifts up at the top of the stairs there, like they do in Frostbite Fortress. Alright, we got 2 waves left, and we got about 4.5 minutes to go through this without an issue. So I think we'll be fine. Everything at this point is pretty much gravy. And then we have enemies just running into our brambles again, which is always nice. Welcome to your doom.
I'm the baddest outlaw that ever lived.
Now we're getting really, really heavy groups in the center here. And you can just sort of line yourself up and gun them down.
Our barricades are under attack.
It seems like to me, and I could be wrong about this, but I don't think I am, that the hitbox for Deadeye's projectiles increases once infamy kicks in. What used to just be like pinpoint arrow shots seems to blow up like anytime they clip anything after that point. So add some extra damage right there, make sure those earthy dudes don't really get through.
They've summoned a boss minion.
Alright, so the bull god's coming from the center, I guess? Because I don't see him with all the guys that are coming from the right. These appear to be runners again. For the most part, I don't think the runners will ever make it across the bridge. The brambles are pretty much just extra security, but as you can see, nothing's really getting through. Okay. That said, man, those like arrow walls and such are doing an amazing job on the left lane.
Get along.
Boss defeated.
Daisy now.
Nice. Yeah, see, like, I should be shooting just above that, but they seem to be blowing up on the stairs. So, it definitely seems, at least to me, like their hitboxes grow. And it's not really an issue. It's just something that you need to be aware of, because you'll have to adjust your aiming slightly when infamy kicks in.
Ought to know you not understand. Like a snake in the grass.
Alright, come on, guys.
We sidewinders always win.
There we go. And we get Deadeye dancing a jig. Alright. Horrible score again, but 5 stars. There we go. So again, Deadeye is dealing way more damage than my traps, meaning that I'm able to deal damage with her before the traps actually get to kill a lot of things when I'm actually like fighting in lane. And that's a pretty powerful thing. I mean, it's not particularly easy to outdamage your traps when your traps are built for AoE damage unless your character is really just able to pump out a lot of damage really quickly. So, no, Deadeye is definitely stacking up to be a really good area DPS character. Kind of like the way that Smolder was way back in open beta, except, you know, without the just unrestricted brokenness that was allowed back then. And next up we have Avalanche. Avalanche is a map that I've played quite a bit. I used to play it a lot way back in open beta. So I don't think there's really much new to show off here, but it would be interesting to see how Deadeye handles hopping back and forth between essentially 3 lanes. So that'll be what's coming up next. Either way, sincerely appreciate you guys for checking this out. Hope you enjoyed it. And as always, until next time, have a good one, folks.